Hello once again, Star Wars unboxing fans. Welcome to a different episode of Darth Tuba's Unboxing Show. I'm your host, Darth Tuba, in my garage. Yes, I have a garage. And yes, if you've watched my channel, you know this because this is where I hold my Star Wars yard sale. I am standing in the spot that my daughter usually parks her car, but I've asked her to move out today just so that I can do an unboxing in the garage. Why am I doing that? Well, because if I'm not mistaken, almost everything in this unboxing came from auctions that I will be putting out in a sale, in a future sale. So I will say that normally I'd be preparing for my sale way in the future at the end of June. I talked about maybe the people that came to my sale, I was talking about possibly having to do it in the beginning of July because I had a conflict that was happening next year, of June of 2026. That turned out to not be the case. Things changed. So I'm going to stick to the immediately weekend following my last week of school that I teach, and I'm off for the summer, so I am doing a final week in June. I don't have the dates in my head right now, and I haven't put them on the thing. I'm going to wait until we hit January for that. Okay, but this is this is actually good because at the time of that I released this video, we'd be getting very close to an Allentown toy show that I have been mentioning on the channel. I will be participating in, and it's my first toy show as a vendor. Okay, although I don't consider myself a vendor, I consider myself a collector that just uses my collection to fund more collecting. But nonetheless, it's going to be November 22nd, is I believe the date. Don't hold me to that just yet. I will get all the official information onto my channel. By the time this comes and it gets released, it will be in the description. I will have it probably posted on the, on the screen. I'll have all that stuff in there. So I'm really excited for that because it's the first time. I did a flea market a few weeks ago. It was very slow, but enough that I made enough money to pay for the sale and have a few extra bucks. So that wasn't bad. And it is something that I'm definitely going to consider for the future, particularly upon retirement. But for now, I wanted to try a toy show. I'm very curious how that goes. I'm totally good to experiment with it. I have a friend who's come in and purchased a lot of stuff from me over the years, and he's going to try to do a toy show specific to a few genres. I think G.I. Joe, maybe Transformers, Star Wars, and I'm going to try that and see if we attract people for that and see how well I do. So we'll check it out. But these are some items that are here. So let's get through it. This is actually from a Philadelphia toy store. I picked up basically, gotta be careful with it. It is a micro, let me get the price tag off of it. It is a micro TIE Fighter. This does not have the labels on it. I'll keep my eye open for unused original labels that I might try to put on it, but I'm not that concerned if it has labels or not. I've actually got a few of these already in the collection to put out for the sale. So, but it's it's intact. It's missing the if I can get a TIE Fighter pilot, I will. I'll put them in there. But what I always loved about these is that they have the breakaway thing where you do that, kind of breaks away like that, but then you just kind of undo it and it kind of comes back together. So really cool. So that is one item. And then, this is actually one, I don't know. I have to look at my collection for the Force Awakens Nine Num or Nib Num. I don't know if I ever got this. I can't remember if I did. Now, I think I've had the channel since Force Awakens, or if it wasn't right when Force Awakens came out, it was very close to, because I've been running this channel for a pretty long time. I'm on past 900 episodes, and I know I do about 100 a year. So that's like 9 years, right? So we are now almost approaching 2026. So I think I started it right around the Force Awakens. But I always liked Nine Num, and even if this is not one for the sale, if I do decide to sell it, I'll put it out. But these are not very valuable. But I like the character. The character is valuable to me. He's one of those holdovers from the original trilogy, so he will go back in the house. And then this is something that was different. This is a little bit more interesting in that I've been starting to find people, selling decent carded figures. Well, I'll leave the price tag on here. So this person was selling what is essentially an action figure and the card, and he was asking $25. Now, looking at the figure is complete, It also comes with one of those backpack things that came in. I think that you could find them in the there was like the accessory kit that you could mail away to, and there was also some of these that were on the Rebel transport vehicle. So I kind of wanted one of those because I'm actually trying to get a bunch of those to put in my. I have a Rebel transport to sell, and I'm trying to build up the pieces to get it to be complete. So that was good. And then I got the figure and his weapon, so it's a complete figure and it's a decent shape, and came with a pretty decent card. So I'm actually going to put this guy out. I don't know what price I'm going to do. I've also been toying around with the idea of maybe trying to try grading figures with the cards. I might be sending a couple away to do that. So he may be on that, and I might actually do it that way too. I think I'm looking at the card. The card is mostly in good shape. If it has a good picture on it, that's great. If you watch my channel, you know I actually won a few auctions where from Star Wars Daddy that the cards were immaculate, almost perfect. You know, taken off with an X-Acto knife, the bubbles. So this one's a close second. It's got a little tear on the bottom corner, but beyond that, it's in pretty decent shape. So I might send this one in for grading. I don't know if I'll keep it or sell that, but you know, that one I'll bring back in and try to decide what I want to do. All right, so we got these two boxes. This big one, this one. This is from a Bodnar auction, which is just another auction house. Just give you a little full disclosure here. I've been, you know, dipping in different auctions, some of which I just put a number, the highest I'd be willing to pay for something, and I forget about it. And I figured if I get an email, a notification that I won, great. If somebody outbid me, they can have it. Well, two things happened. Number one, an auction happened, and I got the notification that I won, and then they said they'd be in touch with me, and I never heard from them. So I thought there might have been a delay or whatever. Well, it turns out that, and I've said this on the channel before, that I actually got hacked on my credit card, and it happens. It's not a big deal, folks. If you find that, you know, always check your statements each month. Anything weird, you know, it's pretty easy to just go in there and say, hey, they can do it right on the computer. I did not make this purchase. But then when you do that, understand that they cancel your card. Not cancel, they put a hold on it, and they cancel the number. And then they send you a new card within like 10 days. But in 10 days, for those 10 days, any purchases you made, they did not go through. So you have to kind of make sure that you're checking that. So this company just kind of filed my, you know, put my stuff off to the side and took care of everybody else, and then came back to me and said, what gives? So they were right to be concerned. You know, so they didn't send my stuff out. But like a month later, I finally reached out to them and said, hey, I'm really sorry. I explained the whole situation. So we have in this auction a couple of things. We've got some posters. I'm not going to open them. These are like the posters that you would get at a Five Below. You know, we have a Revenge of the Sith poster. Looks like we have, and I already know what this one is. It's a Padme poster. So these are all when the movies came out. Looks like there's two of the same one. Okay. This is a Episode 1 poster. Okay. And a Queen Amidala. Plus two more Revenge of the Sith posters. All right. So again, you know, I'm not going to show them. These are like standard Five Below. I'll put them out for like, you know, maybe $2 each or something. They're brand new. And then we got, there's some here that they actually asked me for permission to this. I'm quite glad I did give permission to put them in there because they're thick enough cardstock. Oh, these are great. Just got to make sure that I do not let this bag. All right. Look at these. These are some, I might actually get some frames and put these in some frames. We got, again, Ralph McQuarrie art, right? I told my daughter who's a professional artist, I said, there is no art I will put up in our house except for Ralph McQuarrie. And she agrees. So this is, of course, Luke on Dagobah. The cool thing about Ralph McQuarrie art is that once you get past once you get past the first movie, everything starts to feel a little bit more familiar. This is the Bespin, not Bespin. Oh God, forgive me. I'm a Star Wars channel. Hoth. Thank you. Hoth. Yeah, I'm going to measure these because I think I'm going to try to find a frame for these and frame them because I just think they look pretty cool. I think they would sell better with frames. Luke on Dagobah with the X-Wing. This was part of a lot of items. The Luke on Dagobah. This one's not as familiar to me. But as you can see, like Luke is very familiar looking, but look at Yoda, right? These are cool. Yeah, I don't know if I want to sell all of these. Luke in his back to tank. Now, full disclosure, I don't know if all of these are Ralph McQuarrie or if some of them are Joe Johnson, but I think they're all Ralph McQuarrie. And then Bespin. So, pretty cool. All right, let me just stack these all up again. Yeah, these I'm definitely want to sell at least some of them. That I think I might if I kept one, I might keep the Hawk one. I think the Hawk one's really cool. All right, but I'll get them all inside, measure them out. Oh, there's still more in here. Okay, we got. Now this one's a little bit bigger, so this one I'll take out. I absolutely love this poster. I love all the different characters that are on there. I mean, it's a little more nostalgic now than it used to be. At the time, it was a little overwhelming because they literally put this imagery on everything. You could get it. I have a shopping bag with it. I had, mugs and hats and shirts. And it was like everywhere, So this was part of that. So that's cool. And then this is not a poster. Speaking of episode 1, we have wow, they all right, so cool. This is the not, I don't even think there's batteries. Oh man, well, there is a screw in the middle here, so maybe there's batteries. But I don't think it did more than, yeah, it does have an on-off switch, so yeah, there is batteries, but I don't think it makes any sound or anything. 1999, Darth Maul lightsaber. All right, definitely going out in the sale for a very, very, very inexpensive price. All right, so that is a good, representation of some posters and some items that I can put out in the sale, but I didn't need to. Most of this can stay in here. I'll just cover the box, keep it safe, stack it up over here, and it's ready for either the sale in November or the yard sale in June, or maybe another sale that I'm not fully aware of right now. This one, I think we are looking at. One of the things that I've been trying to do is trying to find some lots of items that I could purchase. In fact, I'm currently waiting on a few items, a few sales happening right now, a few auctions that will be ending today at the time of this recording. I'm way ahead, guys. I'm recording this in September. There will be plenty of auctions and plenty of wins and losses and all sorts of stuff. But that's the fun thing I've learned. Never worry if you don't win an auction, because another one's coming. And another one after that. All right. Yeah, most of this will find its way into another sale. But there might be one or two items that I want to keep around for a bit. So we'll start with, we got some books. Yeah, these will all stay for the sale. This is the Star Wars Visual Dictionary. Well, it's more than just that. There's actually a couple here. Hang on. We got, I appreciate the packing job. All right. We got, well, this is a fairly new. This is one of those punch out, make R2s. If you watch my channel way back when, I actually put one of these together. They're fun. They're little wood, little puzzles. And you can actually use marker to draw them and color them. They're pretty cool. They're a lot of fun. Kicking it old school, Return of the Jedi. This was what I feel the worst reveal ever. And I love the movie, one of my favorites. In fact, I would say this is my favorite Star Wars movie of all time. But this was the worst reveal ever, to have this on the front page of the storybook, which came out before the movie, showing him with a green lightsaber. If we had been in that movie theater and we had seen Luke in the middle of Jabba's sail barge ignite that lightsaber that R2 tossed to him and have it glow green, we would have all lost our collective minds. It would have been like, Captain America grabbing the hammer from Infinity or from Endgame. So that was a missed opportunity, Lucasfilm. I understand it was supposed to be blue, and it kind of blended in with the sky. We also have the Star Wars Visual Dictionary. These are great, especially for cosplayers, because not only do they give you good detailed pictures of the costumes and all the different characters, but a lot of the props, close-ups of things. Sometimes they made things, like production designers would actually make things for, especially for the newer movies, just to show them in this book. So that's pretty cool. All right. When we also have, whoa, this is cool. It's like a set of magazines and stuff. I have to be careful here. All right, let's see what we got here. We have the Mad Super Special Spring of 1984 book. We've got the Star Wars Project Perfect Guide. Oh, I think this is for, I guess this is for gaming. I think. Or maybe, oh, you know what? I know what it is. I think it's the video game. It's a video game kind of walk around. Yeah. Mad Magazine, Hulk Hogan. Over here. Conan. From my friend Larry's watching. Let me know if you want any of these. These were part of a lot. I wasn't purchasing these specifically, but yeah, these are Conan comics. Black and white, color covers. Let me know if you want them. Haunted Mansion comic. Ooh, that one. Bring that in for my daughter. She's a big Haunted Mansion fan. Wait, is this Haunted Mansion? The Haunted Mansion. Yeah, Disney Kingdoms. And we have a Batman comic. Rebirth. Ah, yes. And then we have the Return of the Jedi official collector's edition. We've got Cracked magazine, making fun of Dukes of Hazzard. Kicking it. Highlander. Okay, so again, let me know, Larry, if you want any of these. I'll hold them for you. You get first dibs. All right, so again, these were part of a large, I think Highlander is a catalog. It's a Highlander catalog. That's interesting. All right. It's probably the one, sometimes I buy stuff that are definitely not, okay. These I'm going to keep, these are the Death Star, or sorry, this Revenge of the Sith versus segments. All right, these are, well, you know what? I'll take them out. These are, in fact, and I have a few of these of my own that I think I put out for the sale in the past. I think they were purchased, which is why I decided, I think this is what I was actually trying to get in the lot. I was trying to find boxed versions of these. This was a cool concept that they did in Revenge of the Sith came out. They basically you have the figures on these little stands. They're regular figures. They're probably just re-releases of the Revenge of the Sith figures, but you had them in this little arena, and you can have them kind of slide back and forth and battle each other. So that was a cool concept. That and this is just one of them. There were actually three. Okay, I'm going to actually put this over here for now. There's one. Here's two. Yeah, it looks like every auction house boxes up stuff differently. This is, I don't think I ever had this one. this is a no, this is a bodyguard. Grievous's bodyguard versus Obi-Wan. Just a cool way to display the figures. And if you do take them out of the package, they kind of slide it back and forth, and they have little lightsaber handles on them. They're really cool. And then looks like, I won't take this one out. It's the same thing. Another bodyguard versus Grievous. All right, what else we got? Oh, there's another one. This is Anakin versus Count Dooku. Trying to get it without the glare. I'm leaving the plastic on these because I don't want to. They're going to be collecting dust as it is, so we might as well keep most of them in there. All right, we also have. All right, this one I will take out. This is kicking it back to Power of the Force. I don't think these by themselves are going to fetch much interest, but maybe for the oddball collector who, meaning when I say oddball collector, I don't mean the collector's odd. I mean maybe you have someone who's not really into having a full collection of anything, but they really like a certain character, like Darth Maul. These are these cool 7 or 8 inch figures. I think Hasbro was trying their luck with these 15 years before or 10 years before Black Series, and they only came out with a handful, but they're decent. And they work well both, and they did. I think they had 4. There's those 2, and we also have these 2. And these actually, I don't know if I had. Oh no, not it looks like sorry, the Darth Maul one they have 2 of. This is a different Darth Maul one. Yeah, the same Darth Maul, so they had 2 in the lot. And then this is a Story Droid, which is really cool because it did actually, I remember having this one, and it did roll in its ball form, and then it would unfurl. I mean, it wasn't all that great, but it was close. All right. Getting down to the bottom here. What else we got? We have, I had these also in there. This I think I'm going to put back in the original trilogy box set. Original trilogy VCR box set. I think. See, I got to look at the year. What was the year on this? Is this the one? Of course, they're not going to tell me the year. I can't tell if this was the. Let's see. 2000. So no, this is still the special edition. Okay, but still, I kind of like the box art of this. Unfortunately, it is coming unglued, so I'm not quite sure yet whether this is going to go in the sale or not. But I think I might bring this inside, put it on display in there for at least for the year. I'll think about it next year. Okay, here's one. These are a whole series of bust ups. These are blind box little mini busts from Gentle Giant. I actually have been selling all mine off, but I thought, this is one. This is like one. There's 11 of these, and it seems like all the same series. So it looks like a lot of Hoth ones. So I'm going to put them out in the sale, put a reasonable price on it, and then last but and least, it took me 3 years to sell this. The 3D Millennium Falcon puzzle. Yes, it comes out when it's done. It's all a 3D Falcon. It's about this big. It is a hard puzzle because all the pieces look the same. So, anyway, I'm really happy with this thing. I think that it's one of those things where I bought enough that it'll justify the cost of the lot, even if I sell everything at a discount or at a smaller amount. I think I'm going to do okay with it. So, but the vast majority of what I bought, I think I'm going to keep 3 things for the collection and everything else. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to buy lots that I take 1 or 2 items for me, and the rest, 5, 10, 20 other items go in there. But I will say, they are becoming more and more popular, and more people are becoming aware of this being a thing that people are doing. A lot of toy vendors are doing it. A lot of other people are finding it. So the secret's out. And I'm sorry that the secret's out, but hey, everybody has a right to try to do this. I know some people, this is a full-out business, and I get that. That is not my intent. Nothing more than just trying to use my collecting to fund my collection, to fund the collecting. That's all I'm really trying to do. So that's going to do it, folks, for this episode. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed it. A little bit different, right? As I said, all this stuff's going to get just placed over here with all these other boxes and plastic here. I'm sure you can see a few things here, like, you know, I got some big Ziplocs to keep stuff in here, hopefully keep them safe. And, you know, speaking of card art, here's another FX7. You might have seen that in a previous episode. Yeah, but I'm looking forward to. I'm really trying to keep a lot of vintage stuff, but occasionally, if I can find a large lot of boxed vehicles from the late 90s, 2000s onward, I will do that. I will keep them in the collection that way, and I have a few other items like that as well. So I'm looking forward to kind of seeing if I can drum up the business for that, and then continue to keep funding the collection in other ways. So thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, hit the notification button. Check me out on Instagram and Bluesky. Make sure you leave comments. Even the guy who keeps leaving me to live long and prosper, I will put another comment out there for that. Live long and prosper. Star Trek. I love Star Trek. I just don't collect Star Trek, but I love Star Trek, and I've watched pretty much everything except Discovery. I can't get into Discovery, but it's okay. Other people love it, and that's fine. I might try Starfleet Academy, even though that seems to be in the same Discovery universe. Yeah, I never understood the people that were Star Trek and Star Wars, and you can't, and ne'er the twain shall meet. I never understood that logic. This, you know, sci-fi is for everyone. Sci-fi fantasy. You like stuff, you don't like stuff, no problem. But to that person, thank you for commenting each week. All right, and I will see all of you in the next video. Until next time, may the Force and the toys and the books and the playsets and the video cassettes and anything that you collect that you enjoy be with you.